Hey guys, Brent Boyer from Adam. So let's talk divorce. I want to talk today about a question that I get, it comes up from time to time. Do the courts favor women? It's a question that men ask. I think they've been through it, or they hear horror stories from their friends or coworkers. Are the courts favoring women? Is Michigan a women's state? There's all this stuff sort of floating around out there. So, the type of work we do at Adam, we represent only men. We do divorce and family law, so we get to have some expertise in this field and with the side that men face in particular. And also be sure to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to like the video. That'll help us out. But yeah, this question of, do the courts favor women? So there's a lot of ways to kind of unpack that and look at what that question's asking and what that might mean to you as someone going through a divorce or family law, custody, parenting time type of issue. First of all, a good strategy is to not have a court decide your case. You're not going to want to really take that approach. I don't want to know if they favor men or women. I assume that they're, basically not biased, and that's not an issue. But settle your case out of court. If it's a custody issue, you're the dad. Let's work it out. The parents should be deciding what's going on with custody and parenting time, not the court system. So that's one way around that question, and one way around the things that can happen with bias and what goes on in the court system, what may be happening with the process, and men versus women with divorce and family law. So that's one approach, is that basically 98% of divorce cases settle out of court. So the name of the game is to settle out of court. Get a good attorney, get somebody who knows what they're doing, prepare your case well, and be ready. And when you're ready for the fight, there probably won't be a fight, because it's not going to go any other way. You need to work it out, and the matter should be settled. So that's one way to look at this. But there are certainly laws that protect both men and women, and laws that are intended to be gender neutral. Now, there certainly can be some bias just with where the factual scenario is, with who you are in the situation. In other words, laws certainly tend to favor the person that has custody if there's an issue with kids. It favors, who the child's living with full time. That person's going to be able to get child support from the other parent, and it gives them kind of the advantage all the way around. They have custody, the other person has parenting time. They have custody, the other person pays child support. So those things all sort of fall in line with who has custody of the child, which could be a woman. A lot of times women have custody, so there's certainly some bias there, as in the laws slant towards the person who has custody of the children. But that doesn't have to be the bottom line, the final answer on that. There can be a shared custody arrangement, and you can work out whatever it is you need to work out. And if there's going to be a settlement, that all gets handled out of court, and there doesn't have to be any bias. And if there is, you wouldn't agree to it. So, I think there's ways around looking at things that way, looking at Michigan law that way, looking at our court system that way. There's a lot more fairness, I think, than men think. We've, from our experience, we've seen judges go out of their way to really, they can become biased against women in their effort to be unbiased. They're looking to make a decision that's going to be reasonable. If it's child related, they're going to want to do what's best for the children and come up with something that makes sense. So with our experience and what we've done over the years, we've seen a lot of ways to avoid bias, avoid prejudice in the courts. One strategy, like I say, of course, is to keep it out of court in the first place. But there can be a lot of other strategies with that, with doing the right things at the beginning, doing the right planning. If it's a divorce case and you're getting things started, file first. That's one strategy to avoid bias and problems and issues. If it's a custody or parenting type of issue, same thing. File first, get it started. You're the one in there filing the complaint, and instead of responding to the complaint. And there's a lot of advantages to that. Court orders get signed without a hearing. It sets the stage, it sets the narrative. Instead of someone writing some long thing about how bad you are and all the bad things you've done over the years, you're the one writing the complaint or the request for the court. So you set the narrative, and you tell the court what you want them to know about the situation. So filing first is one strategy against this whole idea of biased and gender bias in the court system and all that type of thing. So that's what that looks like in general. There's of course a lot to it, but some things to consider there. So I hope that's helpful, and we're here to help. Any questions, of course, let me know.